Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small, the Unconventional Attorney. Today, I want to remind you to pay attention to who you are getting advice from. Before I get to that, though, I want to remind you, if you are not subscribed to the world's greatest law firm owner newsletter of all time, then you can subscribe to that by going to unconventionalnewsletter.com. Every week, I'll send you some goodness, depending on the week of the month. We do marketing, we do sales, advertising, mindset, and whatever else I want to talk about. So if you're not on that list, get there. Unconventionalnewsletter.com. Okay. So today I had a flurry of sanctuary member one-on-one calls. Anybody that when people sign up to come in, we do one-on-ones. I think I did 5 today, and this was something that was discussed a couple times. And it's come up in a couple of other conversations that I've had. And I wanted to talk about this because I think it's really important. And this error gets a lot of people off track. And they don't even realize it. It gets them off track with their dreams. It gets them off track with their business. It gets them off track with their significant others from time to time. And it is this idea of paying attention to who you are taking your advice from. And I'll give you a couple examples to demonstrate what I'm talking about. First, I was talking to someone today. This is the easiest one. This one will make the most sense, and everyone here has probably experienced this at some point. I was talking to someone who, first of all, has been practicing for 7 years and kept referring to himself as a young attorney, okay? And I told him, listen, if you've been practicing for 7 years, you're not a young attorney anymore. The reason that he kept calling himself a young attorney is because anytime he runs into an old attorney, the old attorneys refer to him as a young attorney, right? It's both a way to... probably both a way to sort of be sort of just funny, but also a way to demean, right? Old people are just grumpy. That's how I describe it. So you have to pay attention to who you're talking to and who you are listening to, really, who you're listening to, not who you're talking to when it comes to these things. I think he had this idea that because he was a young attorney, he was inexperienced, right? He did not know what he was doing. He cannot operate on his own. All these little connotations that come with being young that are being carried with this. And that's simply not the case. And in fact, young and inexperienced, however you want to describe that, is actually probably not often tied to years. So just sort of get that out of the way, okay? I know people who've been practicing a long time that are idiots. And I know people who've been practicing a short amount of time but have really sort of like jumped into their practice area that actually know a lot and have a lot of expertise. So young is relevant, okay? And anyone that doesn't tell you that, what I just told you, again, goes back to who you should be listening to. All right. I had a guy, I think it was a guy, could have been a gal, who was talking to me about reducing their advertising budget. And I was like, well, tell me what's going on. They're like, well, I spent $1,000, I made $5, and I'm gonna reduce that a little bit. I was like, why would you want to do that? Well, I hired this bookkeeper. And I was talking to the bookkeeper, and they were telling me, your advertising budget's pretty high. We need to cut some expenses. You should probably cut the advertising budget. I'm like, okay, stop listening to your bookkeeper and your accountant for business advice. They're not good at business. They know expenses, and they know income, and they know they just want to cut expenses. They don't get the idea or understand the idea of investment. They don't understand the idea of return on investment. They may understand it theoretically, but obviously if they're asking you to cut your advertising budget, they don't understand return on investment. Also, by the way, and this goes hand in hand with what I just told you, but if people are telling you not to invest in coaching or invest in sort of self-help things or invest in things that are going to make you better, don't listen to them. I don't care if you come into my group. I don't care if you go into a different group. I don't care where you go. You should be spending money on self-improvement. You should be spending money on sort of help with your business. It's an investment that has an infinite return, okay? So go and do that. I have my own business coaches. I have my own self-help people that I work with, okay? All these things. Another example, and this is the classic example, ask some old people whether or not you should be advertising your law firm. Okay, ask some old attorney. What do they say? Back in my day, we didn't advertise. I don't advertise anymore right now. I rely on referrals. You do good work, you're going to get business. It's just how it works. That's not true. Guys like me will run you over who are advertising, okay? Just fair warning. I will crush you. Okay? The reason for that is because I know how to get in front of people, and I know how to get people into my world. And if you're just waiting, sitting back, hoping that someone talks about you, you're going to lose. Okay? And this goes back to, again, who are you getting your advice from? Are you getting your advice from a successful present day law firm owner who is doing well? Or are you getting your advice from someone who is about to retire and may also have a self-interest in you not advertising because it may affect their business as well? An easy way to look out and judge these things is to look at what the person is actually doing. Look at what the person has actually done, right? I probably would not take golf advice from someone that's never played golf before, even if they sound like they know what they're talking about. If they haven't shot even par, I probably would not listen to them and when it comes to their golf advice. Same thing goes for anything else in your life, okay? It's really easy and by the way, one final one. This one's going to sting for some people. This also goes for sort of your personal relationship and the feelings that they have about the way that you do business. Okay? If the people in your life are giving you advice about making videos, about advertising, about hiring, about any other things that you have sort of relevant to your business, and they haven't owned their own business, listen to them, thank them for their insight and for their help, and then don't listen to them at all. Okay. The only time I would listen to someone like that is if in some way you were sort of coming across in some negative way that you just might not have perceived. And even then, I still would ask around, and I would talk to other business owners and see what they thought about it, because they're gonna know, they're gonna be able to see it from different perspectives and give you some sort of real world advice that you can use. Okay, that's it. Pay attention to where you're getting your information from, where you're getting your advice from, who you're paying attention to. Okay, it doesn't mean to be rude to people and ignore them, but just don't listen to them. Just say thank you and just move on. All right, that is it. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you know someone needs to hear this, please share it with them. If you have questions or comments, please leave it. I will respond. And if you know someone that needs to hear this, please share it with them. And finally, if you are not subscribed to the world's greatest law firm owner newsletter of all time, you can get on that list by going to unconventionalnewsletter.com. In a couple weeks, I'm going to break down my strategy for getting endless clients. I'm going to share it with you if you are on the newsletter. Probably that's the only place I'm going to share it. Okay, so go get on there, unconventionalnewsletter.com. As always, I am Christopher Small. I am the Unconventional Attorney. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon. See ya.